What? 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 Am I blind right now? What am I looking at right now? What am I looking at right now? Oh my God, Flyers! My heart cannot take this. No Flyers fan heart can take this right now. Oh my God. We're up in the third period by 2 goals. You get a goal in the third period to go up by 2. And then you blow the lead again. And then you go into overtime. And then we have to win in overtime. We do it. We force a game 6. And oh my God, my heart can't take it. Oh my God. This game was once again a roller coaster. Frustration. Excitement. Frustration once again. Excitement. But we got a game 6. And taking it one game at a time. We have to take it one game at a time. You cannot look too far ahead, and you have to focus on the now, the here and now. And thankfully, the Flyers managed a way to win this game and force a game 6. I'm pumped. I want to run through a brick wall. I know I said in my last video that I thought this team was done, but that didn't mean they were going to lose this game. I was still confident that they can find a way to win. They just got to take it a game at a time. It's just also, you're also combining in the raw emotion right there previously, but still, you got to take it one game at a time, and still, it's the NHL. Anything could happen. I'm not saying the Flyers are going to win this series, but still, anything could happen, and we forced a game 6. Let's go, baby! Whew. I am pumped right now. And also, Claude Giroux haters are going to hate this because he actually generated a goal today, and he looked fantastic out there. Claude Giroux was great in this game. And you also get James Van Riemsdyk getting a goal too. Alain Vigneault before this game saying the top guys have to wear the big boy pants. They tighten those pants up really tight. They put them on, they laced them up, and they got some goals on the board. They were helping this team win this game, forcing a game 6. Matt Niskanen also chipped in with a goal. Whew. The Flyers, there were moments in this game where they looked like the better team. They were controlling the pace of the play, especially in that first period. They were getting a lot of chances. They just couldn't find a way to score. But then the Islanders, in typical Islanders fashion, even though they're down a couple goals, they still find ways to come back into the game. They still remain within it. They're never going to go away, and you got to give the Islanders credit where credit is due. But then there's also the fact that the Flyers, why are you putting out Nate Thompson and Robert Haig when the game-tying goal is about to happen? Why is Nate Thompson and Robert Haig out there? When you need an important face-off win, and you put Nate Thompson out there, and he loses it. Why is Nate Thompson only a couple seconds less in ice time than Claude Giroux? They're like both around the 14-minute mark, a little bit in the high 14 minutes. Claude Giroux had more ice time, but Nate Thompson wasn't too far down. And then also the question mark is, what's wrong with Sean Couturier after he left and didn't come back in the third period? That hit that he had with that collision with Matt Barzal, where his knee got onto the leg a little bit, and he was getting off the ice like in a little bit of pain right there. He was grimacing, and he didn't return. What's the question mark right there? Because if Sean Couturier is not ready for Game 6 and he's not available, AV's got to make some moves. He's going to have some difficult decisions to make right there, and there's going to be a lot more players that need to step up if Sean Couturier does not play in Game 6, because that is going to be crucial, because Sean Couturier also missed some key chances to score in this game as well. But the Flyers, they managed to hamper it down. They didn't let that collapse get to them in the overtime. They found a way. They scored. They got it to Game 6. Like I said, you got to take it at this point, since you were down 3-1 in the series, one game at a time. You cannot look too far ahead. And the Flyers managed to force it to Game 6, which is the most important thing right now, and that's what they're going to focus on in the next few days when Game 6 is on Thursday. So the Flyers, they got in for their money right now, but into the game at hand, like I said in the first period, the Flyers were more the better team right there. They were getting a majority of the chances, especially that first line. That first line was electric tonight. That first line was generating a lot of chances in that first period, especially. They just couldn't find a way to get into the back of the net. Claude Giroux had like 3 shots in that period. The Flyers get a power play, and it's a typical power play. The Flyers can't score on it for their life. I have no idea why it's so bad. But on that power play, early on in the first period, Sean Couturier almost had a chance. He had a nice feed from Claude Giroux, and he shot it, and it rang off the pipe. It rang off the pipe. The Flyers were that close to making it 1-0, but no, they can't score on the power play after that, and they continue to get chance after chance after chance. The Islanders get their share of chances too, a little bit of some odd man rushes, but Carter Hart's there to make some stops. And you go into the intermission, nothing. But the problem here is, at the end of the first period, Derek Grant takes a very lazy tripping penalty. And I mean very lazy. Very lazy. And it's just like, oh god, that was just bad. It was very bad. And honestly, the refs tonight were not that good. There was a couple penalties in the first period that were kind of really soft on both sides. So it kind of like, if you get one soft call, you're going to get another soft call, and that's basically how the game is going to flow from there on out. And Nate Thompson, well, not Nate Thompson, Derek Grant. It was a very lazy penalty right there, as he just lays the stick out there and he trips over it. Very lazy, and that's a penalty you do not want to take going into the end of the period and into the intermission, because the Islanders, coming out of that intermission, they start right on the power play, and it's Josh Bailey, and this is a really questionable situation right here. This is very questionable, because do I think this is goaltender interference? It's very questionable. I don't think it's goaltender interference because, yes, Tyler Pitlick is in the blue paint. He is kind of in the way of Carter Hart, but there's also a rule that states that the opposing player cannot just stand there in the blue paint and not move. He has to find a way to get out of the blue paint. And he had the space to get out. He was holding Ivan Provorov's stick and just standing there like a pylon. And he also tried to deflect the puck with his skate too. He tried to go for it. He missed it, but he wasn't moving. And it was also kind of not helping Carter Hart at the same time, even though Tyler Pitlick was in the blue paint as well. But Matt Barzal was not moving. Matt Barzal was just standing there, not trying to move. He was literally, like I said, a pylon. Even though I don't believe there was goaltender interference, that goal honestly should have been called back, because there's a rule that states you cannot stand in the blue paint. You have to try to at least move so the goaltender can try to move. And even though Tyler Pitlick was there, Matt Barzal has to get out of the paint. And I believe, well, did I think at that point the goal was going to get overturned? No, because it's the NHL and the replay system is kind of flawed. Very, very flawed. And honestly, I don't think that should have been a goal. But they called it. I didn't think they were going to overturn it. And it's a 1-0 Islanders lead on a Josh Bailey goal on the power play. And I don't want to gripe on it that long, but I don't believe that should have been a goal, because Barzal was just standing there. He was standing there. And don't tell me that he didn't have any room to move. He had all that free space on the right side to move. And when Bailey scored that goal, he got out of it pretty easily. So he could have got out of there. He just stood there. There's no argument there that he could not have gone out. There isn't any. So, Islanders go up 1-0. But then the Flyers, they're starting to get their legs moving. They're starting to get their... It's basically, I would say, more back and forth at this point. A little bit of back and forth action. Some teams are getting their chances on both sides. But then the Flyers are starting to get their legs going, especially on that first line. And then it's more later towards in the second period. First line's out there. They're battling. They're trying to win some board battles. You got Sean Couturier on the left side, basically throwing the puck around the boards, and it lands to Phil Myers, who winds up for a shot like he normally does on the right side. He claps it, and then Claude Giroux perfectly lays out his stick to deflect the puck under Varlamov and into the net. And the Flyers tie the game at 1. That's Claude Giroux's first goal of the playoffs. Thank God he needed to get that off his shoulders. He really needed to get it off. Because if he went another game without a goal and say the Flyers lost this game, oof, he would have got toasted today. He would have got wrecked. Whew. Thank God he got that goal on the score sheet. And maybe that is the spark he needed, because he looked really good in this game. He looked good. Hopefully that's something that can wake him up, because he was taking shots. And maybe it's not they don't care how you get the goals. It's all that matters that the puck goes into the net. So Claude Giroux gets the redirection into the net, and maybe that can spark him a little bit. And then not that long after, we got like 2-3 minutes left in this period, you get the third line out there. Scott Laughton on a turnover in the neutral zone pushes the Islander zone, and he has a little bit of a 2-on-1 right here with James Van Riemsdyk. He flutters the puck to him, and JVR buries it, and it's a 2-1 Flyers lead going into the intermission. And there's also And that's also JVR's first goal of the playoffs. After being healthy scratches a few times, he wakes up, he wears the big boy pants, and he makes it 2-1 Flyers. But then there's also a little bit of a question mark right here. Now, do I think this was a goal by Kevin Hayes? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I don't think there was enough evidence to call it a goal, so I understand why the ref did call it a no goal. There was basically probably no conclusive evidence right there. And even though, like, you see on the replay, you can see that the puck is kind of on his skate, but you really can't tell if the puck is above the line or not. So it's kind of a hard situation. In the moment, I was like, it's a goal! It's a goal! But then when I kept looking at it, I was like, okay, maybe you can't tell if this puck is across the line, because Pitlick, yeah, he does push the pad into the net where the puck, because you could tell it's stuck under the pad. But is that really a good enough conclusion to tell if it's a goal or not? So I understand why it wasn't called a goal. So not going to gripe on that too much. So the Flyers are up 2-1 going into the intermission. And then the Flyers, they come out red hot in the third period too. And you get Matt Niskanen blasting one from the right side right by Varlamov. And the Flyers go up 3-1. But in the beginning of this period, you see that Sean Couturier is not on the bench. You hear it from Keith Jones mentioning that. And it's kind of, okay, what's wrong with Sean Couturier? So now you get Scott Laughton on the top line. And you get a couple people double shifting right there. So I think Pitlick goes down to the bottom lines. JVR comes back up. Same thing with Joel Farabee. So you get Scott Laughton playing first line minutes with Claude Giroux and Jake Voracek. And they were getting their chances. Credited they were. But then the Flyers, this is when we get later into the game. And then you see a little bit of a scary situation when Claude Giroux is trying to get a puck into the corner. And his stick flings up into Matt Barzal's eye. And it was like, ooh. It's like, ugh, that made me cringe right there, because that's a very dangerous play. And there was no intention right there by Claude Giroux. That's just a follow-through from a pass and a shot right there. And it just, sadly, it ends up in right under Matt Barzal's eye. And you can tell, like, he's grimacing right there. He has the rag on his face, and you can tell, like, he has, like, a cut right here under his eyeball. And it's just like, thank God that stick did not touch his eye. Like, he just probably got lucky right there. But also, Matt Barzal didn't return to this game either after that situation. But then the Islanders woke up even more after Matt Barzal left the ice. So this is where I'm going to get on Carter Hart a little bit, because I feel like he should have had this puck. So the Islanders, they bring it into the zone. Mayfield gets it over to Bailey, who then hands it over to Brock Nelson, who fires it on net, and it goes by Carter Hart. And I don't see that there was any deflections right there. Maybe you could argue there was someone blocking his sight of view, but I do believe Carter Hart should have had this puck. He needs to stop that, because this goal sparks the Islanders, and they score not too long after this. I feel like it's like under a minute and a half they score. And this is where my problem comes also right here. And you can blame a little bit on Carter Hart too, but then also, why is Nate Thompson and Robert Haig out on the ice during this goal? So you got a defensive zone faceoff. Nate Thompson's out there. He loses the faceoff. And then the Islanders, they're doing their thing behind the net. And then Clutterbuck, he sends it across the ice. And then you get Carter Hart trying to put his stick down on the ice to stop the pass from going through, instead of being prepared for that one-timer to slide himself across the crease. So he puts the stick down, he misses it, and then it's basically an open net for Derek Brassard to put it in the back of the net. And also, you get Robert Haig not picking up Brassard either to take him away from that shot. So basically, both of the blame can go to Hart and Robert Haig right there too, because Nate Thompson loses the faceoff, and when you lose the faceoff right there, you know that's bad business, because the Islanders are going to do their thing in their zone. And the Flyers, they can't win the puck battles. Puck goes through the crease. Carter Hart can't stop it with his stick. He's not prepared to go cross crease. And then Robert Haig does not pick up Derek Brassard on the backdoor play, and he puts it in the net. And the game is tied at 3. And now we go into an overtime. This is not what you wanted right here, because the Flyers did the exact same thing what happened in Game 2. They go up with that big lead, and they can't find a way to close out the game. They let the Islanders tie it late. And that's a big problem right there, because you would think the Flyers would actually have a game where they can shut down the Islanders, but then you also got to give the Islanders credit as well, Because like I said in the beginning, the Islanders still find ways to stay in the game. They found a way to stay in, and they kind of got some momentum off there when Barzal left the ice. Also, scoring that goal by Brock Nelson helps, and that's just kept the momentum going for them. They managed to tie the game, and now you force an overtime. And the overtime in the beginning, oh my goodness, there was chances back and forth. Back and forth. The Flyers getting a little bit of chances. You got Travis Konechny getting a stick deflected off from Kevin Hayes, and it hits the crossbar. You get the Islanders going the other way. Brock Nelson had a breakaway slightly. Carter Hart is there to make the save. The Islanders getting some deflection plays going on as well. Carter Hart is there to make the save. The Flyers get a power play, and oh my god, that power play looked awful. Especially in the overtime. They start off, they don't win the face-off. Like I said, if you don't win the face-off, it's not going to be good. And basically, whatever happened there, they didn't win the face-off, and they couldn't do anything on that power play. They got no shots. But the Flyers, they still managed to get some offensive pressure going, especially after that power play. A little more than halfway in, the Flyers are in the zone. It's the first line out there, once again generating chances. And you get a pass to Ivan Provorov from Claude Giroux. Ivan Provorov on the point, he's thinking, he fires the puck on net, and then it's Scott Laughton in front of Varlamov, gets a stick on it, and he deflects it by him, and the Flyers win. The Flyers win. Oh my god, the Flyers win 4-3 in the overtime, and they force a Game 6. I'm speechless right now. I am starting to lose my voice. My mouth and throat are getting really dry right here. It's just like, oh my god. My my heart can't take it right now. I'm going to take a drink of water because I need it right now. Jesus Christ. It's amazing. It's really, really amazing right there. Day by day. We take it game by game at this point. Oh my god. My heart was pouncing. I was frustrated. I was excited. Like I said for Game 2, if you were just a regular old hockey fan, this was a very exciting game. It was very exciting. It was back and forth action. One team goes up, one team comes back very late, and then a team wins in overtime. But then when you're a Flyers fan, it's very frustrating because you think you can win this game in regulation, and then you blow the lead, and then you're pumped up because you win in overtime, and you find a way to get out of it and force a Game 6. Oh my god. I don't know, like, I want to say the Flyers are due for a game that they just completely dominate. Like, I feel like they are, but I don't want to jinx anything too, so I've got knock on wood right there. But I feel like they are due to have a game where they dominate. But like I said, they have to take it one game at a time. Because the Islanders, they're just that team that does not go away. They're a team that is going to be within it for the entire 60 minutes, even if they're having an off game. If the Islanders are having an off game, they're still going to find a way to be within it. They're still going to find a way to chip and battle in there and try to find a way to tie the game or even win it. So the Flyers need to find a way. And the Flyers, I feel like overall, it was their most time played. I feel like this was the closest to a 60-minute game you can get by the Flyers. Sadly, that final 5 minutes where the Islanders tied it, the Flyers played, I would say, a good 50-55 minutes of regulation, and then it was basically back and forth in the overtime. So I feel like right here, this game right here was the Flyers' best played, and they got the win out of it. Can they win a game in regulation? That's the key. They need to win a game in regulation and have a full, consistent effort. And who knows if that's going to be what's happening in Game 6. Like I said, you need to take it one game at a time. And there's still going to be some question marks. What's wrong with Sean Couturier? Maybe we'll find that out tomorrow. You'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, take it day by day. So what are your thoughts on this Flyers victory? What do you think what's going to happen for Game 6? Do you think there's something wrong with Sean Couturier? So don't forget to leave your comment in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time. Oh my God, my heart. My aching heart.